want to introduce chicken tractor Trace. Not as in Tracy, but Trace as in uno, dos, tres.
This is the third type that we have made. We made it up completely as we went along.
For the most part, it came from materials we already had or were here. We brought with us from Oregon, or they were here on the farm. So a lot of reclaiming going on here, which meant some fabrication to make it all work out.
Still got a little bit of painting to do.
So the frame is a 2x4 frame, and it actually came from 2x6s that I cut down, so they are exactly 4 inches wide, not the 3.5 inches. We had PVC, which we are using as the ribs, and our PVCs were not 10 feet long. They had already been cut down, and so we're using 2 sections of them that are like 6 feet long. And we put this purlin down the middle and drilled holes and put the PVC through those holes, so we get the advantage of the purlin as well as being able to use the 6-foot PVC. So this is actually a little bit higher than if we were using 10-foot PVCs to come across. This would be down, 6-8 inches from where it is.
Chicken wire up here, hardware wire down here.
And the reason for that is that typically if we have animals like raccoons who can rip to shreds chicken wire, we've been told, we haven't had that happen to us, but with the hardware wire at the bottom, they're less likely to be able to get through that, and we doubt that they'll climb up.
And if we find a problem, we'll add hardware wire to here.
Yep, yep.
So we put a tarp over part of it to start with, to keep the rain off.
Give them a little bit of shade when they need it.
In the winter, we'll bring it all the way around and cover it up.
And this is where we can get the eggs out.
Oops, I didn't put the other basket back.
So we'll be able to reach in and get the eggs out, and we will latch this closed with a carabiner, maybe the lockable kind, so that the raccoons can't get in as well.
And we have it reinforced down here in the corners.
So we've tried reinforcing in different manners, simpler ways, and they just don't work. So I did these very sturdy, and we'll see how it holds up as we move it around. I do want to show the door though. We walked past the door and didn't say a thing about the door.
Pretty excited about the door.
So this is the door that I made using the 1x3s, and it's held together with the
biscuits.
Yeah, biscuits. So anyway, it works very nicely. We put 2 latches on it, one top, one bottom. Now these are the kind of latches that a smart raccoon can figure out, but we're hoping 2 latches is more than they can figure out.
And we have this.
And then the hardware wire is fastened on here very firmly. We have this roost that goes end to end. You need 8 to 10 inches per chicken. We're planning on having 12 chickens, so this is 120 inches, so it's enough for each of them to have 10 inches. Our experience is
they huddle together.
They huddle together. The colder it is, the less space they need. So they'll get up pretty close together. I suspect some of them are going to use the nest box as well.
And
I think I'm going to shut this right now.
We have this for them to perch on, and we have 2 of these. This we still haven't cut down. This will be cut down right here. Are you shutting me in?
I was teasing about that.
All right, now show them what we just engineered.
We've tried a couple different techniques. We've looked all over the internet, and this is similar to a few that we've seen. One that we looked at today, it's very close to it. Works very well. So if you come down here closer so we can see what we have, I want to show what's going on. This is a 3/4 EMT, and we have it cut down. It was bent previously, so we cut it at the bend so it's straight. But now we cut this out, down in from the end. My opinion is we really didn't need to do that. The example we were looking at had it done that way, but this is a 1/4 inch bolt, and if you look, you can see that it goes inside there far enough. I mean, it's longer than it needs to be, but it's what we had. So we drilled a 1/4 inch hole through the EMT and a 1/4 inch hole through the wood here. Then this is a wheel that we had And you see the size of this bolt here. We drilled it. It's you know, fairly large, so we drilled a hole the right size for this bolt to go through the EMT, and then we put it through there. Now these are carriage bolts, so they have the square end on them underneath the head, so it doesn't fit into the round hole at all. So what we had to do in order to get this to work out, and this really helped on the design, is our slat that's holding the hardware wire on, we had to cut a piece of it off so that the end of that bolt head had a place to go up and down, because the EMT is right up against the side, and so with the bolt on there it wouldn't have been able to slide over it. Right. So this is a lever. It's going to pivot, and as we push this down, the wheel is going to go down and pick this back end up. So if you want to come over to this end and film while I push this lever down. Now the lever pushes down quite easy, and we also put a screw in here to help keep it from popping back out. So just a slight push.
Oh, and a very big spider is inside of there.
We lock it in place. We'll go over to the other
Jim,
side.
that's huge, just like a wolf spider.
We'll go over to the other side. Same arrangement. Just a slight, easy push. Your granddaughter could do it. And then we've got this rope fastened on in there, so we can just do an easy pull.
Oh my goodness. Wow, easy moving, huh?
Yep. Very easy. So this whole design has been a learning process. We don't have plans for it because this is the first one.
We're not giving plans for it.
We're not going to do plans. Anyway, what we're finding is the 1/4 inch bolts for the pivot point aren't large enough. This one seems to be bending on us, so we need to get something a little bit larger. We were concerned about that. It's what we had. We're going to go with a larger bolt, not a problem, that can go all the way through there and definitely be strong enough to handle it.
But we're very excited about what we've done and that it works.
Functionally, it's gonna do everything we need it to do for sure. Now all we need is the chickens.
Yeah, if we build it, will they come? Well, we're done with the chicken tractor. I've just showered. I don't want to dry my hair because then I'll get hot. So anything that we can do to help so that you can eat right, the better. So planning ahead.
I'd be happy doing it.
Yeah. Planning ahead is one of the things that we really, really need to do in order to be good. And let me give you a perfect example. We come in from working in the evening because he works till about 2:30 or 3, and then we go work. And then we come in, and if we have something in the crock pot, then it's wonderful.
We're golden.
We are, but we don't tonight. And I'm too tired to cook, and it's too hot to cook. And so it's like, okay, we got to figure this out now. So in order to be able to have things made ahead, you have to plan for it when it's cool. For lunch, we were able to just pull out our leftover chicken enchiladas. And what you want to do is be able to plan ahead in what you make. Always look at making leftovers or reusables. It's too hot for soup right now, but when you make soup, when I make soup, I always make a couple of extra containers so we can pull them out. He wants a treat.
Is that what it is?
Yes. He's trying to get wherever you've got the treats.
Where are the treats? We always have.
So I'm going to be giving several. So I'll keep giving ideas of how to make things ahead of time. And you guys give each other ideas in the Facebook section and in the YouTube section. Give each other ideas of how to make things ahead of time.
So what are we eating tonight?
We'll figure it out. We're just going to go to our real food refrigerator and pull something out.
And pull off a miracle.
And pull off a miracle. The other thing I wanted to let you know is we were talking yesterday in our live a little bit about damaged bodies. One of the subscribers said she was so glad to hear about that because it makes sense that your body has to be healed before it can lose weight. And so By damaged body, you may have insulin resistance, you may have adrenal fatigue, and some of the things that cause that on adrenal fatigue are being too busy. We don't know anything about being busy in our lives, and it's actually why we made the change. When we're busy here on our homestead, it's a completely different busy.
We're working together. We go at the pace we want to go at. We're refusing to set hard deadlines. We're attempting to enjoy the journey.
Yeah. Unlike
the journey is the destination.
Yeah. Unlike when we were working for other people and working huge horrid hours and running all over the place and never stopping, that leads to adrenal burnout. That's one of the things that does. And then I wanted to talk about how to choose your meals. When you're starting your meals, don't start with your carb. Carbs are easy. Start with your protein. Whether you're going to have meat or not, start with your protein. If you happen to be a vegetarian, bring whatever it is, it's going to be your protein. And then add your vegetable.
You build around it. It's your basis. It's the core.
And usually your fat is going to be part of what you've either used to cook in, drizzle on, butter with, or it could be avocado, it could be nuts.
Lots of sources. It's not a large quantity, but it's typically part of almost anything you do.
And make sure that you're not eating low fat anything anymore, because low fat equals sugar. And so eat full fat, small quantities. There you go. In the video that's going...
Full fat? I mean, low fat equals sugar?
Yes.
Why do you say that?
Because they put more sugar in to compensate for the lack of taste of the fat.
Ooh, so the fat brings in flavor, and so to compensate, they're adding sugar, which is addictive, so there's a pattern there, I think.
Yes, there is. On the end of this video, you're going to see something from our past.
Do you know what's in this video?
Yeah, I think so. Okay. Insulin sensitiveness, insulin, which is good. We want to be insulin sensitive. Insulin resistance and metabolic syndrome. And that was a video I made a long time ago, and I thought, why do it over? It's already here. So I'm going to put that on the end. And hope you have a great Friday. Please subscribe to our newsletter. If you subscribe after you see this video, you won't have gotten today's video. They come out at 5:30 in the morning.
Is our newsletter ready to go?
It is.
Whoa, I'm so proud of you. Not a late night tonight.
Nope, newsletter's ready.
Yeah, that's one of the things we've done about our stress is we've typically had, with all of our moving and shuffling around, come Thursday night, we like, oh no, newsletter has to be out tonight, so we're up late getting it out.
Nope, I've worked on it all week.
Building stress. We vowed this week that was not going to happen, so we got started on it early.
Yep.
And worked on it often.
Yep.
And it's ready.
Yep.
Do you want me to check it over?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, thank you so much.
Well, I want you to know that sometimes my brain hurts. I feel like there is smoke coming out of my head from all of the different research that I do and the studies that I do and all of the food claims and the diets and do this, don't do this. I mean, everybody has their own opinions. And so for the last 9 years, not including school that I've been in, we've been studying about it and researching it and have chosen things that we can feel like we can use. But let's talk to you about some of the things that are out there. I'll talk about the first one. Ancel Keys did a hypothesis back in the 50s or 60s that finally took place and had something happen with the government in the 70s that makes us eat low-fat food. We ate low-fat food for decades and decades and decades and decades. And a lot of people still eat low-fat food, right?
It's the big watchword.
So, whether you believe it or not, there's been hundreds and hundreds of reports written on it, literally hundreds.
Thousands, probably.
that he wasn't right, he did it wrong, he is right, he is wrong, back and forth. You study for yourself. We're not going to even tell you. You study for yourself. But we're going to go over some of the diets that are around there, or some of the claims.
Hi. Did you come to say hi to me? Yeah? Yes? You about had it? Wow, I didn't expect this kind of attention. Okay, go.
What? Yes, you're a pretty girl. You're a pretty girl. Okay.
Go forage.
Go forth. Go forth and eat.
The Coca-Cola company says obesity comes from too much screen time and not enough exercise. The Atkins diet says there are too many carbohydrates. The Orange diet says that there are too many fats. The vegetarians say we shouldn't eat meat. The Paleo diet blames the nutrition problems on grains. Big food companies blame sedentary people for the obesity problems. Insurance companies won't pay for obesity, but they get stuck paying for all the diseases that stem from obesity. In Weight Watchers, you can count points and eat low fat. Nutrisystems and Jenny Craig will have you buy their food.
Low fat, high carb, low fat.
Raw, vegan, and on and on and on.
We're going to define 3 things for you because we're going to keep referring back to those in the books that we talk about, in the information that we give you. And so it's really important that you understand what those are. So one of them is insulin sensitivity, one is insulin resistance, and one is metabolic syndrome. What's insulin sensitivity?
When you're experiencing high blood sugar, your pancreas secretes insulin, and this is to help your cells absorb this high blood sugar.
Yeah, and so it takes the high blood sugar out of the blood.
And makes use of it. Makes use of it for energy and running the cells.
Yeah, so that's sensitivity. So insulin resistance is when the pancreas sends out the insulin because of high blood sugar, but the cells do not respond to it. They resist. They close their doors. They don't want any. And because of that, then the high blood sugar stays in the bloodstream. The sugar stays in the bloodstream, making high blood sugar. The last one is metabolic syndrome. It is a cluster of 4 things, or 5 things. One of them is high blood pressure, high blood sugar, abnormally high triglycerides and cholesterol, and large abdominal girth. So we talked about the weight using the scale, and we do or do not do that.
We do talk about that it doesn't measure correctly.
It doesn't. So what we do measure is our abdominal girth. And I can demonstrate on you. You have to lift this up.
Oh, sorry.
So abdominal girth goes around and comes right across where the belly is. And he should be standing up, but I'm having him sit down so you can see where the belly button is, and you come across. And then do it.
So what am I?
Well, I don't even need to tell everybody what you are.
Okay.
So what you want to do is be able to take your height in inches and divide it in 2. And you want your abdominal girth to be that or less. Yours is just about a 1/2 inch too much.
Does that work with centimeters?
It's done in inches. I don't know if it works with centimeters.
It works in centimeters. It doesn't matter what you measure it with. If they're both measured with the same, the number's half.
Oh.
Yeah, that's how it works.
There you go.
Math is
Math
really
is not
cool
my
that way.
thing.
Math is cool that way.
Okay, so if women have an abdominal girth of 35 or men have an abdominal girth of 40
That's inches. This time it matters.
inches, then you are extremely high risk for heart disease, diabetes, and stroke. Because inside of that abdominal area, if you've got that much, then you've got fat, the visceral fat that we talked about yesterday, all around your organs. So that is what we're covering today, is abdominal girth. We want you to go and try it. Put on the internet, look and see how to do it. But it's done going straight from the back around to the abdomen, and have someone else do it for you. That's what you want to know.